Everybody in corporate media, like, they want someone with street credibility. They want someone that, oh man, he must be best friends with rappers, and maybe he raps a little bit on the side. And so, Stephen Jackson, I want to play you the context. Let's start with Stephen Jackson visiting, checking in with O-Block. This happened a year or two ago, and people have been critical of Stephen Jackson for this visit to O-Block. We want to start with that video just to give you the context. And then I'm going to show you how that video actually enhances Stephen Jackson as a media personality. There's more opportunities. There's a bigger paycheck. People will invest in you because that's the lane. They put a little piece of cheese in a mousetrap. And so they sprinkle money in a mousetrap and says, hey, over here, here's the money. Be street credibility and clownish behavior. Come in here, there's a bunch of cheese. People call cheddar. They call that money, cheese, cheddar, blah, blah, blah. They've put that in the trap, and everybody's running towards the trap. And Stephen Jackson has run there, and so here he is in Chicago visiting O-Block.
Yeah, a lot of y'all be at O-Block pulling up, taking pictures. Where we at?
Tell them how they coming.
We're in the middle of it. I mean, y'all pull up and take pictures and y'all not allowed to.
They sneak.
And one thing about it, if you're a real one, you don't mind checking in.
Checking in. What'd you say?
I check in with the real one. That's why I'm in the middle of O-Block.
Where you at?
You see the hoop?
Where you at?
I'm in the middle of O-Block. Man. Listen, man.
The middle is bitch where the people's be, you know what I'm saying? Where the real people's be, man.
Shit you can't pay for.
Rap cap.
No rap cap. Shit you can't pay for. Me, we really out here. O-Block, Chi-Town. Rest in peace, King Bone. We in the middle of O-Block, ain't we?
64.
Quit playing, man.
Exact.
I'm everywhere, you never there.
So that is Stephen Jackson out of his own mouth checking in on O-Block. And I believe the young man next to him is a guy named Ty. You've heard Pastor Corey Brooks on this show. Pastor Corey Brooks, who has a church in the heart of O-Block, knows Ty, the guy that was next to him, to Stephen Jackson. You've heard him talk about like Ty's struggles, and Ty, I think, is locked up and incarcerated right now for killing somebody. And so you're about to hear a video that Stephen Jackson did an interview with somebody. Maybe his name's Mike D. I don't know. We'll play the video here in a second. But where he's explaining his checking in. And he's saying that he didn't check in. But we just heard him out of his own mouth say he did check in. But again, all of this controversy is good. It enhances. And when you understand the history of the All the Smoke podcast and Showtime and the corporate people that got behind platforming and elevating Stephen Jackson and Matt Barnes to an elevated position in the sports media place, this is what is necessary for the black man to have a place in the corporate media landscape. And this isn't me sitting there saying, oh, tis, the evil white man. He's built a system that rewards this type of criminal mentality and motif and brand. But the system has built that. The people in control of Hollywood, in control of television and the entire media system, they've built a system that favors the criminal element as it relates to black people. And so here's Stephen Jackson now explaining, checking in on O-Block. Let's play the clip.
I don't bother nobody. You don't never see me bother nobody getting nobody business, bro. And let's clear up the O-Block shit since we talked about that.
Yeah.
You can't find, I give $1 million to anybody, that you can find on O Block that say I checked in. This how the whole story went. We was in Chicago for the big three.
Stop.
We went out.
Stop the tape. Stop the tape and rewind it. I want to play it again. He just $1 million. If you can find anybody that says he checked in with O Block. Well, we just heard him on O Block. Real Estate Agents I Trust connects you with top performing real estate agents in your area. These aren't just any professionals. They're carefully vetted to ensure they're leaders in their field. They're experts who know the ins and outs of best practices, thrive in the wild housing market. Beyond their skills, they share our core values that me and you both believe in. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name really does say it all. Visit realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com. If you're a real one, you don't mind checking in. Didn't we just hear him say? Stop. Let's play the original tape from O Block. I just want to be clear. Let's play the tape. The original, Stephen Jackson on O Block, and we'll stop it 15, 20 seconds in after he acknowledges checking in.
Yeah. A lot of y'all there O Block pulling up taking pictures. Where we at?
Tell them how they coming.
We're in the middle of it. I mean, y'all pull up and take pictures and y'all not allowed to.
They sneak.
And one thing about it, if you're a real one, you don't mind checking in.
Checking in. What'd you say?
I check in with the real one. That's why I'm in the middle of O Block.
Where you at?
You see the hoop?
Okay, stop. Now, this is out of his own mouth. This is what he said in real time when he checked in. Now let's play him explaining it this week that, let's play this second tape or this second video. Let's play that again.
I don't bother nobody. You don't never see me bother nobody getting nobody business, bro. And let's clear up the O Block shit since we talked about that.
Yeah.
You can't find, I give $1 million to anybody that you can find on O Block that say I checked in. This how the whole story went. We was in Chicago for the big three. We went out, we got f***ed up, we was back in the hotel gambling and playing cards in the lobby. Will Bynum is from Chicago. He has another dude from Chicago. My drunk ass says, let's go to O Block.
I mean, that's not a norm for you, though.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not a reach for you.
No, and it wasn't surprising to nobody that was there.
Especially
and Will was like, you for real? I'm like, yeah, dog, let's go. They knew somebody there. They called him, told us we could pull up. I pulled up, rolled some weed with him, smoked with a couple of them. There's one little dude, shout out Ty. I don't know what he got going on. I'm finna tell you a story about Ty. As soon as I got out there, that little nigga stuck, you know what I'm saying, got right on my hip. You know what I'm saying?
Come on,
little
man.
young nigga. You know, to the point where shit.
If something happened to him, it's happening to me.
Bro, he just stuck to me. You know what I'm saying? Gave him my weed, he rolled me and him smoking together. So I'm out there shooting basketball, shooting the bush.
Oh, you jury.
5 in the morning.
Yes.
Like I'm in PA, nigga. Ain't no checking in. Nigga. Pulled up on the youngins.
When you heard me yesterday talking about the culture, this is what I'm talking about. There's a black culture that's about as pagan as anything I've ever seen. I've only lived 57 years, so I haven't seen it all. I've read the Bible and know that, there are other levels of paganism and other versions of paganism. And so I know it's not, but when you're in your mid-40s, and again, what did I tell y'all about me growing out this beard and letting the gray come in? And it's a sign of wisdom. As older people, we're supposed to be passing on wisdom. That's biblical. And so I'm saying there's a pagan culture that has been adopted by black people. And there's a pagan culture adopted by other demographics. But this one here that we have adopted here in America and have spread across the globe, there are curses and penalties for it. Because when we greet our young people, we're not trying to lift them up. We're not trying to elevate them. We are trying to bring them down. Hey, I'm gonna smoke some weed with you. I'm gonna show up and hang out with you at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm drunk and high. I'm going to affirm your demonic behavior that has led Ty to incarceration. It's a self-destructive. When I say we're killing our kids and that there are curses and consequences that go along with that, this is what I'm talking about. And the people that, let's call it out by name. And again, I'm not trying to belabor this point, but I'm just trying to connect the dots for you. We heard Nick Fuentes on his show. I played you the clips of like, Jason's a black conservative and he's got it easy. He's got black privilege. He can say this and he can say that. He hasn't faced the kind of consequences that I've faced. So I know exactly what I'm doing. Stephen Jackson and I used to have a shared affinity for each other. And I have affinity for Stephen Jackson. But I am going to rebuke publicly his demonic actions and behaviors. And that's going to put me at crossways with Stephen Jackson. And when I call him a criminal clown, I know the consequences of that. He don't like me. And he's a criminal clown. He's been arrested before for shooting outside of a nightclub. And just, he's a member of the Bloods. I get it. I'm not making friends. I'm not winning friends and making, or whatever the name of that book is. I'm, in your mind, putting myself in harm's way. In my mind, I'm rebuking him because I fear God more than I fear the Bloods and the Crips and criminal clowns. Don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest content.